This is the Bladtcast. Welcome to our Major League Baseball preview, taking a look at all the teams vying for the World Series, but mostly a way for beaten-down Mets fans to manage expectations and prepare for disappointment. Christian Bladt is joined by Solomon himself, comedian David Weiss, writer-comedian David Brody, generator of new content every day, Flobo Boyce, and author Devin Gordon. So break out your peanuts and Cracker Jacks, crack open an old style, and get ready for a ceremonial first pitch from Christian Bladt.
So that's, of course, the great Farhad Muhammad with our intro there. Chicago Boy is going to insist that we crack open an old style, and that would be the appropriate way to enjoy a game at the friendly confines. Coming to us from the friendliest confines of Las Vegas, Nevada, the great David Salmon Weiss. How are you, sir?
What's up, America? From Las Vegas, Sin City.
We have a two David quota here, and with us, of course, is the great David Brody.
East Coast.
Brooklyn boy, yes, representing the East Coast. Also out west, our pal Flobo Boyce. And as always, for this installment, we're joined by Devin Gordon, who is, of course, the author of So Many Ways to Lose, the amazing true story of the New York Mets, the best, worst team in sports. And, the fact that you could always add chapters to it, but at the same time, the book, the way it is, isn't going to change anything. It's like, oh, yeah, all those same feelings are still there, Devin.
It happens every season, has happened every season since the book was published 4 years ago. I feel like I've got 4 chapters if I ever want to do another one since.
Right.
It's 4 very different seasons, 4 Metsy seasons.
Yeah, and don't worry for fans of those other teams. We will talk about the other teams, but we always get together on a day very much like this to look ahead and talk about the Mets. I think that based on our predictions last year, we were all surprised by just how far the Mets got. It was a fun ride. It ended abruptly. It also was kind of inevitable. There was no stopping the freight train that was the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is something we can talk about for this year. What was sort of the biggest, most fun takeaway for you, Devin? Some of us have chatted since the season ended, but this is the first time we've had you since last preseason.
Sure. Well, I hit upon this a little bit in a column I wrote for the New York Times yesterday. Go check it out if you're interested. But the upshot of it was that for me, the big takeaway was that even though we didn't make our ultimate goal, we didn't even make the World Series. This is kind of a perfect season because somehow it managed to end without any catastrophe of any kind.
That's true.
No goats, no drawbacks, no, acid flashback horrors, no people that were gonna, who are, like no Armando Benitez's or, no Bill Buckner from this team. We had this amazing, historic, thrilling run after run filled with, vintage classic Mets moments. And then it kind of ended in, a sort of standard variety series in which the better team beat us. And it wasn't heartbreaking or it just lost and the season was over. And to me, only the Mets can have a season like that where you don't even make the World Series, and yet you're like, I wouldn't change a thing. And that's how I feel about last season. I wouldn't change a thing. It was my second favorite Mets season since '86, and the only reason '86 is still the top is because you get the ring, you get the top spot. But I'm telling you, I think I might have had more fun last season.
You're able to actually, see every game on television, which is already a huge improvement over 1986. And even those of us following from the West Coast.
Shout out Sports Channel.
Right, of course, yeah. Sports Channel forever. David Weiss and I were actually at the NLCS game that they beat the Dodgers, the day game, which was my pinnacle for the season. I was really got to enjoy that game. And that was sort of the takeaway when the Dodgers won that series, was like, well, I at least went to a good game. And there were a few games in that series that I'm very glad I wasn't at. But yeah, I think that is basically the way we're able to take it. Flobo, you seem to have a different point of view, though.
It was great. The thing is, this time last year, I was like Pollyanna to all you looky-loos and mooks. You're like, oh, now the Mets are going to suck. And I was like, no, if you just believe, Angels in the outfield. And it was great. It was awesome.
It's been a long time
since
I've been called a mook.
Wins if we're lucky.
Yeah. 85. Yeah, it's true.
I'll be doing backflips with 85 wins. And, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So, Weiss, that was kind of a great moment. You came over for some less enthusiastic the final game of the NLCS.
I think your daughter's a jinx.
No, I don't think she had anything to do with it, but she was very excited. Nobody else cared, so we had to watch it on a TV that I literally unboxed that afternoon.
Yeah,
we was sitting in the
we
garage.
watched in Christian's garage.
In my office, which is in the back of the garage.
Man.
Nobody wanted.
Too late to pin any of this on the living.
That's right. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Brody, you, of course, in the New York area. You're the only one of us in the New York area because Devin's elsewhere in the Northeast. So did it, were you able to appreciate it, or did it take a little while for you to be like, okay, I guess that was fun? Or how did you feel at the end of the Mets part of the season?
I got caught up in the grimace pandemonium. I got caught up in seeing people on the subway, people in New York wearing Mets gear again, seeing Times Square with the grimace. It was fun. Like I remember from the 80s where there was like people not ashamed to be Mets fans. So that was great. Going into Target or Home Depot and wearing Mets gear, people going,
yeah,
hey, yeah, giving you the nod rather than the look of shame, like, oh, yeah, you too, huh? Yeah. So.
Well, it did turn into one of those seasons, as we discussed at the postseason installment we did last year, where we weren't able to root for the Mets anymore, so we could just celebrate the Yankees having 5 errors in a single inning, and so there was at least that. It's not.
It was
a
perfect season.
Yeah.
It was perfect. How often does a Mets season end with a loss? It's still perfect. It's over, and then it gets better.
Yeah,
because the Yankees go to the World Series, which should be a bad thing.
Yes,
should be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Kind of was.
Except it gives them the opportunity to, face plant on a historic platform.
Yeah.
And then before the year is out, we take their second best or maybe their best player.
Yeah.
Right from under their noses. Like 2024, it was just the chef's kiss that just kept on giving. And that's kind of like why I'm like, look, we didn't go to the World Series. We didn't win a World Series, but I'm still perfect 10 out of 10, no notes. I'm like, I'll take.
Yeah, I think that for the Yankees, the fans of the Yankees last year is not best represented by the 5 errors in an inning. To borrow a term that Flobo threw out there, it was those 2 mooks in the stands who tried to break Mookie's hands. Yeah. Those are that's the Yankee fan, right?
Full meltdown.
Yeah,
full meltdown.
Exactly.
Do you guys? I don't know if you guys have any I'm curious about this. Do you guys have any Yankee fan friends who got mad at you when we got Soto?
My niece and my nephew.
No. I don't have a lot of Yankee fan friends, but the 1 or 2 are like, you're going to enjoy watching him. Congratulations. They're not the people that would be mad at me. I'm not friends with.
Good. Okay.
I wrote them off years ago.
I got angry Yankee texts.
Oh, okay.
I loved it.
Please send them my sympathies. Please.
I know, this is so great. I saved it. I screenshotted it. I put it in a folder where I put all my favorite things. Great.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to try and revisit it. I suppose is it's mostly like posts from people that I know. Like even I have like my uncle's a big Yankee fan, things like that. It's more that like they're just like annoyed, but they always have this delusion of greatness that it doesn't matter. We're still the Yankees. I did love the argument of, how could you not want to be on the Yankees? And, the little bits that you hear, Juan Soto had a number of reasons why he didn't want to be. One was like, you can't just throw in a luxury suite for his family just because Jeter never had one. You know, you can say what you want about Jeter, but there's different times. So
they also didn't have the same kind of luxury suites when Jeter was playing. So
great point. Yeah, that is a great point. So Devin, you alluded to the article. This was in the New York Times, right? This is your essay. Who am I if the Mets are good? And Juan Soto is a big part of that. Talk a little bit about the idea of coming to terms, we as Mets fans, the idea of what do we do if we are good, and we could be good.
Yeah, and I think good is like, it's important to define good, because as we know, the Mets have been good before, but we're good our way, right? We're good in our own special flavor of surprising, happy, goofy, crazy way. And I do wonder if we're heading into this era when the Mets are just sort of a steady, competent, quality franchise. And what I worry about from that is not the winning. I love the winning. But I don't want to become one of those Yankee fans who gets resentful after a season like we had last year. I don't think
there's danger of that.
That's what I hope. But like, take this year as an example. If we go to the NLCS and lose again to the Dodgers,
that would be disappointing.
That would be disappointing now.
Yeah.
And, I think the Dodgers are so good that I actually think that kind of gives this team a strange kind of pass. It's weird that this team doesn't quite have those ceiling expectations because everybody's written off the title already, the Dodgers. In a weird way, that's great for the Mets. But it would feel different. It's not the same context. It's already not the same thing. When you have Soto, you can't just do the whole, hey, we're the Mets, let's have some fun. We might shoot the moon and really do some great, crazy things one year. No. We have to win now. That's why you get Soto. And if you don't win, I don't want it to suck. I don't want to, become sour and entitled. I don't want to become the Yankees. And I do think that there's a certain element of that comes with not just the good of the kind that we are every once in a while, but an expectation of competence, right? An expectation that we're just a good franchise now. We're going to be good now. That's who we are now. I like it when even in a bad year, I can root for the fact that, oh, look, here's this guy, Kodai Senga. He's awesome. I love this guy. Oh, look at this kid, Francisco Alvarez. Like, I can enjoy a whole season based on those two guys blooming out of nowhere, right? And I want to continue to be that kind of Mets fan. That's sort of that's my case.
Well, Flobo, as you use the term Pollyanna, I see you as the most optimistic. It's not even the glass is half full. You're just like, well, thank God there's a glass. Thank you for the glass. You want to put sand in it. You want to just put nothing in it. It's fine. Thank you for the glass. As you sort of take into consideration everything that Devin's saying, what are your thoughts?
I am just blown away because it's perhaps ironically, Juan Soto was even my favorite player in the league by a long shot. But the fact that he chose us, there's some franchises now that deal with that. The Rockies, the Athletics, the Rays, even where the Blue Jays, where nobody wants to sign with the team at all. And to have someone of that caliber saying, okay, no, I want to come. And that's how you build more people to come over, right? And so even a season like 23, we walked in with expectations because of 22's flame out and face plant in San Diego and back. And that season kind of collapsed. This one here is actually different in a good way, right? You were 6 wins shy for being world champion. And you lost to the eventual evil empire, Megazord, Voltron team of the LA Dodgers. Okay. Yeah.
Shout out to Voltron, by the way.
Shout out to Voltron. Yeah. Goodbye, like Voltron. Can we
do sorry, I got it. The Lion one, not the one with the vehicles. Only Lion.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
You're an OG guy.
I had to make sure, okay? Nobody throw in Robotech while we're at it. All right.
No.
What? GoBot? What's going on? No, but now it's organic, right? Because you remember last season was the 0-5, the terrible May, and then it was like getting reclamation parts and bringing up Iglesias because you benched McNeil and Iglesias started blowing up, and now you got a plan set. This is year 5 of Steve Coleman's plan. I want to see how far this ride goes, man. I'm excited.
Another 5 to 10 years.
Hey. Not waiting, I hope.
I just want to be the same fun
those-
team. I don't, it's almost like I don't want us to change more than I don't want the team to change.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like, I like that we have a different mindset than Yankee fans. And I want to keep that. I want to win that World Series desperately, but I want it to be our way, feeling
Right.
Yes.
Well, to your point about Juan Soto, this is something that made the rounds back after the signing. I think it perfectly encapsulates actor Nicholas Turturro, who I enjoyed him.
That
on
is not
TV.
Nick Turturro. What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Looks very tired.
That is him. So this reaction is kind of probably what Devin's texts looked like.
Juan Soto, I got 2 words for you.
yes.
What you rode in on, and the cavalry behind you. That's
I'm so mad that I have
taking
it.
it personal.
I'm sorry. I'm just mad at myself that I grabbed a version where it's beeped, but I'm going to finish playing it now because it is so much funnier. Just he gets so angry with every swear that comes out of his mouth, but we'll finish it.
We gave you our love. We gave you our heart and soul. It wasn't enough. You don't even choose the
Okay.
Dodgers. You don't even choose the Dodgers. You go off Broadway to the Mets. You don't want to be on Broadway, and you don't want to be Judge's guy. Oh, those stupid Mets.
Okay, you gotta stop this because no. Okay, so to Devin's point, the problem with the Yankees is as a franchise, they're just traditional for tradition's sake. The roll call was lame. They just changed the beard policy. They were just a stodgy museum franchise, and people don't understand. They're boring. I won't play for them. They're boring.
That is shocking that the idea that you could have a well-groomed beard. Flobo, you'd be able to be a Yankee now because you always keep that thing. That's
Well,
always
it's
high
too
and tight.
late.
Yeah, well, it's too late now. But
Just want to make sure we're always on this side of that video. You know what I mean? I want to be on this side of that video and not that side of that video.
Right.
That
No,
is
I
fucking
think that's
crazy.
It is absolutely insane that he's so angry. And it is the point. It's like, why wouldn't you sign with the Yankees? And it's like, well, one, there's more money. And people make the point that it's like, what, for like, I don't know, $20 million more dollars. Look at his contract. There's a lot more money that is likely to come his way if certain benchmarks are hit. And by the way, FBI Tugboat is a big Flobo fan. I mean, we're all here. FBI
Hey, Tugboat.
I mean, you could say something to us, but we appreciate that. We appreciate
Christian, a
Yes.
couple of things about that
Yes,
video.
please.
Number one, the Mets have better celebrities. We've got Jon Stewart. So right there. I mean, Nicholas, he's not even John Turturro. He's Nicholas Turturro.
John Turturro, I mean, it would be great. And no talk about Severance. I'm only catching
No
up.
talk about Severance. Also, he said, F you to Juan Soto and the cavalry behind you. Did we get a cavalry for $800 million? Did that come with a cavalry? I'm not. What kind of insult is that? F you and the cavalry that behind you?
I think he's referring to Griffin Canning, maybe.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The canning ring.
Yeah.
The canning ring. He may have said. Yes, my bad.
Yeah, no, and look, it's interesting because look, we're latching on to that just maniacal reaction, and that's not the only one. There were a number of those that were making the round.
No, I got one like that. That's it was there were a few less curses, but that was the general tenor.
Because you are the one who kicked over to you, like Cash App Steve Cohen and said, "Here, I got this. You go sign Juan Soto. You footed the bill, Devin. You paid for it. So that's why they should be mad at you."
Well, it's also the same lack of self-awareness.
Yeah.
That doesn't realize that this video, Nick Turturro video, is just like set up an IV and shoot it into my veins, right? Like the same thing. Like, do you not realize? Are you too self-absorbed to realize that you are making me so happy? The hymnsless erection that you are giving me right now, you have absolutely no idea. And it's the same kind of self-absorption that leads you to believe that this Yankees is, the Yankees, why wouldn't you want to play for the New York Yankees? They are the greatest franchise ever. Like, it's what is this delusion that you live in? It's the same one. And that's what I love so much about it is just the level of self-delusion.
And how great that he's so upset that somebody signed a free agent away from the Yankees when they've been doing that since 1978 to everybody else.
Right.
Everybody, they stole Dave Winfield. Nobody was crying. Oh, go back for the Padres. Nope, take them.
Yeah.
They took Andy Messerschmidt. They took every Catfish Hunter. They took everybody. They never cared.
Oddly enough, Steinbrenner ended up being the one crying about Dave Winfield, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
That's another story.
And burning.
Go ahead.
And burning your 22 jerseys, I hope all these people that because keep in mind the Yankees don't have the names on the back. I hope all the people that burn their 22 jerseys when they sign Vladimir Guerrero Jr. next year and he becomes number 22 and they have to go out and rebuy those 22 jerseys, I'll be so happy.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, Al Leiter was barely a Yankee. Why are they so mad? Why are they setting it on fire? He's a broadcaster. I mean, he doesn't really do anything. Yeah, it's interesting because my wife wasn't a big baseball fan when she met me, and she kind of got subjected to it. One of her earliest observations was she saw the Yankees in the field. It's like, they don't look like they're having fun. And I'm like, yes,
exactly.
They're not having any fun. They never have fun.
No.
You win 3 World Series in a row and you're still not having
They're
fun.
They're sore winners.
Yeah, that's true. So in any case, I think that there's a lot of excitement. And yes, stealing away a player from the Yankees is kind of fun. A guy they had for 1 year. So it's
1 year.
Yeah, I know exactly. So there's a lot to talk about. And in the chat, the world famous Mr. Hollywood has this prediction, which I think will get us into sort of the proper part of the show, the proper format. He says the Braves missed the playoffs. I don't know about that. We'll talk about it. Pirates finished second in NL Central are my 2 boldest takes. I think second in the NL Central doesn't get you in the playoffs. But I think that the Pirates might need to spend a couple dollars, and they have shown not shown a willingness to do that. Go ahead, Flobo.
I was going to like, oh, are you kidding me? I disagree. I look at my notes. I go, wait, no, it's the same thing I have down. So yeah, I do agree with Mr. Hollywood. So
you agree with Mr. Hollywood?
Yeah, I do.
Flobo has notes.
Yeah, this is the Bladtcast. Look, we're betting 637. Okay,
I didn't know.
I got a spreadsheet, homies. Look at this. I got everything all typed up. There they go.
So the biggest obstacle. Go ahead. Sorry, what, Devin?
How many major league hitters do the Pirates have on their baseball team?
Tommy Pham,
right?
Odell Cruz.
They re-signed Andrew McCutchen, but
Andrew McCutchen. Yeah.
Is that
he doesn't count?
Well, because it's Old Timers Day every time.
It doesn't count. I mean, I think I'd heard that like something like 6 of their 9 everyday hitters should probably be in the minor leagues.
Yeah,
hitting wise.
Yeah, the same thing about the Arizona Diamondbacks 2 seasons ago.
I mean, wow. Yeah, but man, and it seems like that division is sort of there for the. I think the more interesting and bolder take is the Braves missing the playoffs. I'm very curious to hear if any of you believe that.
I got 2 bolder takes, but I hear you. But I'm with you.
Show me the teams ahead of them that are making the playoffs that bounce the Braves out. There's not enough teams in the National League better than the Braves that's going to happen.
That's true.
Not gonna. I mean, there's 6 teams better than the Braves. Who?
You're talking about divisional leaders and then the 4th wild card. I think the Phillies are better. I think the Mets are better. I think the Dodgers are better. That's
3.
The Diamondbacks are better.
Isn't it 6 teams make the playoffs? Not
it's
4?
6 teams, but it's division leaders, then the 4th, then the division.
So 3 wild cards.
So
3 wild cards, 3 division leaders.
From the NL, deserving or not, someone from the NL Central is going to make it.
Right. So 6 teams. So what I'm saying is, how are there 6 teams better than the Braves to keep them out of the playoffs?
Right.
Yeah. Well, no,
the Braves could still finish 500 and make the playoffs.
Yeah, that guy's a mook.
I think it's not inconceivable. I mean, I think, look, you have to assume that they don't get too much out of Strider. They don't get too much out of Acuna. That last year's hitting was more who they are now than 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. The Chris Sale blows apart this year. I mean, if those things happen, and none of those are crazy things, then the Diamondbacks are really good. I mean, the Padres are good. I think the Phillies are even better than they were last year. I think they got deeper pitching. But I personally think the Braves are more likely to have a bounce back season than have a season that suggests last year was who they really are. I don't think that's who they are. I think they're due for a comeback. It just, I can't. I think I'm with you guys. I would like to fantasize about the Braves missing the playoffs, but I don't think I buy it.
Yeah.
You'd have to have the Mets and the Phillies are going to make the playoffs. Can we agree on that?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, sure. I hope. Yeah.
I mean, I
jump
want
ahead.
to.
Yeah.
But here's
And
what I'm
do
going to
a
say.
rotation. I mean, is it time to get to the elephant and the
Yeah,
five?
well-
the 5 elephants in the room, right?
There's
Like
five
I don't know what to
It's
call
us.
it.
We're the 5 elephants.
What'd you call us?
No, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced the Mets make the playoffs because of the fact that they're in a division with the Phillies and the Braves. And
100%.
you just
The
listed
Marlins.
the Padres are not going to win the division. The Diamondbacks are not going to win the division. So there's only so many musical chairs for wild card. So no, because of the Mets pitching, I don't know that
Come
they're
on,
a lock.
Christian. Stop.
So trade deadline pickup. Come on.
Come on.
Oh,
Paul
Brandon
Blackburn
Stroh.
is waiting in the wings,
Because
man.
the best pitchers are always out there at the trade deadline, right?
The best
Brody?
pitcher on the Mets right now.
Christian
The
has
Padres have 2 guys available already. So
Yeah, that's fair.
the Christian
and Brandon
has a point.
Sproat is this close. Brandon Sproat is this close. Come
So
on.
Weiss is agreeing with me, so I'll have to put him in the big screen. But also, I didn't put my money where my mouth was. I did have him place a bet on the Mets to win the World Series because he's in Vegas right now. Now, granted,
11 to 1.
I gave him $5, but still, I put
I did
money
too.
on it.
I put 20 down to win 70, so it's all good.
So, your thoughts, Mr. Weiss?
The starting pitching is questionable at best. Senga hasn't shown that he can hold up under a full season. David Peterson has to really prove himself. Griffin Canning, okay, great spring. Let's see what you're doing in September. Blackburn, I don't know. Diaz velocity is down. He looked like crap in the grapefruit league. Yeah,
Crap.
grapefruit league.
He said
You know,
crap.
we can't afford Diaz not to find his fastball until June. He's got to come out Thursday and be the man. You know, there's no fooling around this year.
Yeah.
We're expected to win.
So Brody, what do you feel about the first pass through the rotation? So there's 3 games in Houston, and then they go to Miami. Not who's going to come back later. So how do you feel about the way that they line up for these first 5 games? I don't feel good about it. That's my point.
I like Clay Holmes pitching the opener.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Yeah,
I think he looks solid. I think he goes 6 innings, and I think they turn it over to a solid bullpen.
What's solid about the bullpen?
I think. Well, first of all, I think the addition of Minter is tremendous. I think Garrett looked really good. I think he's solid now. I'm surprised. I think Buto is a solid relief pitcher. I'm not convinced that Diaz has anything in the tank yet. I don't think he's ready. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think Robertson looked great last year. I think he's a young pitcher. I think he's only going to get better. And I think Minaya is he's not in the rotation. I think Senga is going to go 4 or 5 innings. I think he looked pretty good in the limited action he had. Although he's going game 5, right? So that doesn't really. I mean, it's game 5. Yeah. I think your weak points are going to be McGill and Canning, and hope for the best and hope for the lineup to score 8 runs. I think it's a weak first week.
In my opinion.
And to that point, Brody, Tyler McGill is pitching game 2.
I lost.
And by the way, I did just take a look at the calendar, and we get 1 game in on opening day on Thursday. That'll be on SNY. Game 2, live on Apple TV Plus. Game 2 on Friday, March 28th. So tune in for that. And Tyler McGill is going to be on the bump, as they say. I did just re-up Apple TV Plus because now that the Severance season's over, I'm trying to watch it. But again, no talk about it. So I can watch it, but do I want to?
Well, the Mets have 20 games on national broadcast partners this season, the second highest in all the league behind the Dodgers.
But Apple TV, the announcers are terrible.
Awful.
The functionality of the app is awful.
Wayne Randazzo's not awful. He's okay.
I'm sorry. The pregame redhead is terrible. She's awful.
Well.
And Randazzo's co-host isn't great. Randazzo's much better than the people I used to have. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I agree with this.
What do you think about Tyler McGill and the rest of the pitching, Devin?
I mean, I always say with Tyler McGill, never trust a man who misspells both of his names.
Fair.
It's absolutely correct. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of him. I feel like we've seen the bests he has.
What's the ceiling?
And look, I'm actually okay with Tyler McGill in isolation because I actually sort of feel like we know who he is right now, which is he's going to have a couple nice, really nice starts, and it's going to be very inconsistent. And that's sort of what you should expect from someone in the back of the rotation. That he's going to win you some games. But the problem is, I feel like every single pitcher in the Mets rotation is one of those guys, and all this faith that we have is based upon 1 year of David Stearns, basically, rolling sevens. And I do think he's very good. I do think the team is going to be very good is the thing. That's like why it's weird. I don't feel pessimistic about the team. I just think when you're adding Juan Soto, you're supposed to feel like you're taking this giant step forward, right? And in some ways, the Mets are. Like, I really do think that the Mets are going to have a great offense. I don't totally see how they cannot, because putting Juan Soto, assuming he's healthy, into an offense just leads to great offense. That he is an offense unto himself. That's how impactful he is. But I think these other teams are going to be a lot better. And I think just because you have Juan Soto in a weird way doesn't mean that the whole team is going to take a leap forward. I just think I look at the pitching right now, and I think it's crazy to think that it's going to be as good as it was last year. And it was good last year, maybe even very good last year. Wasn't awesome. It was very good. If we go from very good to just good,
not good enough.
Not good enough. And not in this, not when we're talking about top 6 in the National League. When we're talking about being a good team that's competing for a playoff spot between 85, 90 wins, I'd be very surprised if the Mets weren't doing that. Like, if the Mets didn't do that, I'd be like, geez, what the heck went wrong here? But I don't necessarily think it means that, that coin flip of a wild card race last year where 3 or 4 teams are charging to the finish and we all finish one game apart. And it's really a coin flip that we happened to tumble in rather than tumble out, right? It could have gone, the math could have gone any other way.
We easily could have been the Diamondbacks sitting at home, hoping for the best, and then the best didn't happen, so we stayed.
We could
home.
Easily be, and here's where the Mets psychology comes into it, right? Think about how many breaks we got last year, how many miraculous little things we had, all these amazing home runs. We all know in sports, you don't get that 2 years in a row. It will be somebody else's turn to have those series of miracles.
It's Juan Soto's turn. I'm happy.
We may have a good team. We're just not going to be the team that gets all those miracle breaks. And I think that could easily be the difference. That could be, like you say, Christian, what makes you into the Diamondbacks last year versus the Mets. Right. And maybe it'll be the other way around, and it'll be weird because we'll be like, hey, wait, didn't we just get Juan Soto? How did that not change the game?
Right, exactly.
Griffin Canning is our third starter.
It is Griffin Canning.
Because our ace, who we're all completely convinced is going to be a Cy Young finalist, even though he has never started a game in his career.
Somehow I feel like when we reconvene to do our playoff preview and I review this episode and try to pull some nuggets out of it, I'm going to look at it and go, who the hell was Griffin Canning? Because why are we talking about him so much?
And that may not be a bad tiding for the season. That may be perfectly normal. And I feel like, I did actually see something. Sorry to hog this, but I think it's worth to inject this. I did see something like Stearns turned over something like 40% of the 40-man roster in the first month of the season last year. Wow. And I thought that was really, really, and it sort of jibes with what you remember probably from last season at that time.
Sure.
Yeah, Joey Wendell. Remember him?
Yeah, exactly. Tons of people like that.
Zach Short. Remember him?
Or hey, Julio, right? Was
Julio Teheran. Remember him?
Yeah. Was he Mr. Wendell from the Arrested Development song? I never I didn't like that.
They wanted to give it a shot.
Well, Devin, I know you have to go in a moment, so I will bring in from the great Mr. Hollywood. The 6 NL teams I predict are Dodgers, Mets, Cubs. I see Cubs as a bold pick, but a feasible pick considering that division. And Padres, Phillies, D-backs as wild card. Yeah. Mr. Hollywood is all in on the Braves, missing it. What from the great Mr. Hollywood do you agree with, Devin, for the NL?
I think I'm going to go with the Reds over the Cubs.
Nice.
I really like the Reds, and I think Tito is going to make a huge difference there. I think he's one of the few difference-making managers in baseball, and I like that team. And I think I would probably flip the Phillies and the Mets. Unfortunately, I think the Phillies are the best team, not named the Dodgers. And I think I would probably knock out the Padres and replace them with the Braves.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see the Padres taking a huge step backwards, mostly from the way that they literally pissed away their lead in the division series, and it was just shocking.
Just so many good teams.
Yeah.
Look, it's hard. This is a loaded league. I feel like, and that's to me, it's like
It's loaded talent wise, but I think when we talk about the Mets had something extra. They had focus and they had discipline and they played as a team, whereas San Diego did not.
Yes. Let's hope that continues. I think it will.
I think from what I've seen in spring training so far, these guys want to pick up where they left off and do some damage.
Before we let you go, Devin, who do you think is the best team in the American League? Who do you feel like, okay, that is the team that's at least built the best? It isn't a popular opinion to say the Yankees. I'm shocked at the number of people picking the Red Sox to possibly win that division, but you live there. You tell me.
I will say, breathing in this Boston air, they are very excited about the Red Sox up here.
Okay.
Very,
Why?
very, very excited.
Why?
They got 2 potential aces in free agency.
Crochet and Bueller.
And
Come on.
added to a
And
rotation
Bregman,
that was
too.
pretty solid.
And Bregman.
They have
Sally eats everything.
they have this trio of young hitters.
They're
that
just not
everybody's
good
in love
enough.
with. They have a trio of young hitters that everyone's in love with. I think there's some sense that the league has that division has regressed a little bit. I mean, I think the Yankees. I think people just see it as ripe for the taking, not that the Red Sox are a juggernaut. Are there good teams in the American? Like that's to me one of the things. It's funny. Like I mean, granted I don't watch the American League nearly as much, but I don't get the sense when I hear people talk about their teams or hear beat reporters covering it that there is a real power out there. I hear Texas getting thrown around a lot, and I keep thinking, my God,
What if DeGrom actually pitches?
Yeah. That team was terrible last year, and the turnaround is because some young guys are going to get better, and Jacob DeGrom is going to be healthy. I'm sure
there's a lot of question marks. Yeah,
Detroit. I mean, it's you can look at several teams in the National League and make a case for why they could theoretically knock off the Dodgers.
Well, and look, like we're talking about sort of how many teams there are for so few spots in the National League. I mean, in the American League, you got to be better than the Twins and the Orioles to make the playoffs, and it's not that hard, So maybe that's one of the clips that I'll play back when the Twins and the Orioles are the ALCS next year in the postseason.
Fine by me.
Devin, thank you for giving us some time as always. So many ways to lose.
Great to be back. It's like the opening bell of my baseball season, so I'm very, very happy to see you all.
I love these late March starts to the season. We used to have to wait into April, and now it's just like, let's just give it to us. So we appreciate it, and we always appreciate your time. So many ways to lose, the amazing true story of the New York Mets, the best, worst team in sports. I promise it's a great read, especially if you're a Mets fan. But, honestly, if you hate the Mets, you'll really enjoy the book. Your Yankee fan friends should read the book. Yeah. Well, Devin, we always appreciate it and look forward to getting to chat with you later in the season.
All right, guys. Great to see all of you. Let's go Mets.
That's right.
Let's go Mets.
Exactly. Let's go Mets.
LGM to the bitter end.
Thank you so much to Devin. So I feel like we've really talked a lot about the NL East, as we always do. We haven't said the word Marlins or Nationals at all, and I think that's for a good reason.
Yeah.
Look, it really is just the Dodgers to lose in the sense of the West. Yes, the Padres were very good and have been good for a few years there. I mean, even knocked off the Dodgers a few years ago. But And you're like, oh yeah, the Padres are good. The D-backs could be good. But to me, the Dodgers is the one team that's great. The Phillies is, to me, the other team that's great. There's other good teams floating around, and we'll talk about the Central in a moment. But what do you think, Flobo?
I think you're absolutely right. But the one Achilles heel the Dodgers have, if you want to call it that, because they're the Dodgers, that they're old. You know, their infield is all over the age of 31, and most of their pitchers in their late 20s at the base. And so if they have a team that's more athletic, I think the Diamondbacks are more athletic. I'm not saying they're a better team than the Dodgers. I think they can run faster and hit harder. But I think it's going to be something that if they don't go all the way, if they don't repeat, if they don't go to the World Series, you'll be wondering what went wrong. I think it will be that. It will be their age catching up with them.
Mr. Weiss, as someone who also resides in sunny California, where it was a brisk 90 degrees yesterday, what are your thoughts on the NL West?
I agree with Flobo. Just an additional point. Look for them to stumble out of the gate. World Series hangover. Freeman is not well.
They had to go to Japan. Let's not forget that they had to go to Japan.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Ohtani can carry them, but let's see them do it. You know, I think they're gonna stumble out of the gate.
Brody, bring your East Coast bias over here and tell us what you think when you look at the NL West.
Teoscar Hernandez is the fourth best or fifth best hitter on that team.
Yeah,
I don't see how they lose.
Yeah, I agree.
They're just Mookie Betts is not one of their 2 or 3 best players. I mean, you have Ohtani and Freeman, and so maybe he's one of the 3. So okay.
Well, let me just poke on your
the lineup's ridiculous.
You're saying that the guy who won the home run derby is the fourth best pitcher on the Dodgers, and you are not wrong. Sorry, fourth best hitter.
Yeah,
on the Dodgers. Easy for me to say. So yeah. Anyway, finish your thoughts there.
Kershaw is old. I get it. They lost.
He's not coming back.
I mean, he's going to pitch a few innings at some point. Bueller's gone. I get it. I still think listen. If Roki Sasaki is as advertised, they just keep winning, and there's no stopping them at the deadline. They have no payroll limit. The owners are worth $800 billion, so it isn't even. It's just a joke at this point. So I don't see how they lose. Does Freeman get injured? A couple of pitches go down. Yes, they could make it close. But if they're healthy going into the postseason, I mean, come on. Corbin Carroll is not, he's not. I mean, they have Shohei Ohtani. Now Ohtani's pitching this year. So add him to the rotation.
But I do see, he's not going to have a 50-50 caliber season because now his focus is not singularly on just getting up there.
Yeah, he may go 40-30. I mean, and he wins 12 games. That bum. So, he's still the greatest thing ever.
I'm sorry.
And FBI Tugboat says he's pitching this year. Yeah, he's pitching again. I would never let him pitch again. I would say, no, you're going to just only hit. Go ahead, Weiss.
Anybody else of the opinion that he shouldn't pitch ever again?
Yes, me. 100%. He should never pitch again.
As a person, yeah, but you paid him to do that, so I can't say no.
Yeah, but you paid him. I mean,
lots of money
last season for the same money.
So
you won the World Series.
They told me on the market he's worth 2 players. I paid for that. Give me that if I'm a business.
But
watching him,
you paid him to be a Cy Young candidate and an MVP, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if he's coming off his second Tommy John surgery,
correct?
Maybe he just is not the pitcher that he was, and it's not worth it to let him round himself into shape because it's a distraction from his offense.
That is a situation, not tonight to Bogart this, but that is something his management that say that in his contract and say, I just want to hit. But he did not do that. He was signed as a 2-way player. He has to do 2-way stuff. And if he gets injured, that's a risk you take.
And how many pitchers have 3 Tommy John surgeries? So he's good. He's good. He's had 2. He's done. Listen, he's going to pack the stadium when he pitches. The ratings will be through the roof. And if he's on the mound in a World Series game, well, if he's on the mound in a World Series game, it's a huge plus. So maybe he only pitches 15 starts this year, 20 starts, whatever, not 33. But to have him as in a 6-man rotation with Sasaki and Yamamoto and whoever else they throw out there,
right? He's got to be managed if he's going to pitch.
Yeah, so manage him. They got plenty of other pitchers. Maybe Kershaw pitches the second half of games for him. It's confirmed.
So he becomes an opener, is what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, maybe pitches 4 innings and then whatever, and then somebody else comes in.
Opener, yeah. So I just wanted to share. This is from today's LA Times. They're talking about him, restarting his throwing program. How much will he pitch in 2020? He's definitely pitching. Is the point there?
He should be their closer.
I mean, not at this point. I think if he's not going to pitch
a week,
he's not going to pitch. He's not going to pitch. You don't pitch him for anything. But let's see how it goes. If he goes 2-12 this year, maybe he doesn't pitch. But I don't.
And as a Mets fan, I say run him into the ground. So let him pitch.
All right.
Yeah. So
maybe my opinion's different if he's on the Mets, but he's not. Fair. So run him into the ground.
According to Google, only 2 players have had Tommy John surgery 3 times: Johnny Venters and Jason Isringhausen.
Jason Isringhausen. Yeah.
Hey, you know the old joke: the odds of a bomb being on a plane are 1,000,000 to 1. The odds of 2 bombs being on a plane is like 10,000,000 to 1. So bring a bomb. So he
tell that joke at TSA, Brody.
Yeah, well, it's not my joke. I forget who it is. It's
it's a good time, but Weiss is right. Yeah, the next time, right before you get on, like, hey,
I'm gonna take my belt off, but I got this joke for you.
I got a quick one for you. Hang on.
Yeah. Let me get my shoes off. All right, I'm ready.
So look, I think the Dodgers advancing to the playoffs is no one's gonna accuse any of us for a hot take. Does anyone think that they don't win the division? Do you like the Padres or D-backs that much, Flobo? I'm looking at you. That the Dodgers wouldn't win the division. I know you love your Snakes.
I feel like I thought the worst takes ever, but they end up being true every time.
But you picked the Royals, and
you picked the Royals.
No, I know the Royals went into the playoffs. I mean, I think they got like 1 hit, but still they
did show up. Yeah. No, the Dodgers are winning the division. There's no way.
All right. Let's talk about the NL Central because we have to. So I was just in Arizona for some Cactus League ball, and I saw 2 teams that are in this division. I saw the Cincinnati Reds and the Milwaukee Brewers. And I would say the Cincinnati Reds are the better team, which is not what I expected. The Brewers didn't look good. You want to talk about teams that have gotten older and slower, and the pitching was a little suspect. I think that Cubs winning the division, as Mr. Hollywood said, makes sense. But I love Devin's pick of the Reds. Does anyone see anybody out of the Reds, Brewers, Pirates, Cardinals, who usually, when you talked about this division, Cardinals will come first? Does anything jump out at you apart from, say, the Cubs? I'll ask you first, Mr. Weiss.
Cubs are going nowhere. I don't know who's picking the Cubs.
Hey! Go Cubs, go!
Last Cubs.
Wait, are you serious or are you trying to troll?
In a division with the Pirates and the Reds?
Cubs are going to be on their back before the 4th of July.
Last place is disrespectful.
Get that clip. Get that clip.
Yeah, don't.
Last place in NL. That's disrespectful.
Don't try and get a table at Gene and Giorgetti's or at Lou Malnati's. All right.
Ooh, that's
yeah.
But I can't pull my
punches.
I got to be honest. For the Bladtcast Nation,
we appreciate that. Strong. I don't think they're going to be in last place because of the fact that the Pirates are the Pirates. And the Cardinals have not been very good. What teams do you like in this division, Flobito?
I don't I do have the Cubs win the division, so maybe my reaction is biased, but last place makes no sense. They picked up Kyle Tucker and Ryan Presley from Houston, and they got better by subtraction by getting offloading of Cody Bellinger and Kyle Hendricks. So I'm like, I don't understand why they won't be in the conversation. But old Sal says they're awful. What is going on?
He will eat the crow, but if he's right, we're all gonna have crow sandwiches.
Yeah. I'll eat his hat. That's what I'll do.
And by that I mean Pete Crow Armstrong sandwiches.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
I forgot about that guy.
Brody, what do you think of the NL Central?
I'm going to disagree with David because I'm picking the Cubs based on their additions.
Hey!
And based on the fact,
Guys are fucking out of there.
and based, okay, so I'm looking at let's analyze the rest of the division. The Cardinals
Please.
the average age is 106. They're done.
Average?
They can't even get rid of Arenado. They can't wait to shove him under a train.
They're
The
so
Reds are the
good.
Reds. I don't care who the manager is. They're still the Reds. They don't have enough talent. I can't wait until what's his name? The really talented guy.
Ellie,
that guy.
Ellie De La Cruz?
Yeah, Ellie De La Cruz is playing for the Mets because that's going to happen eventually. The Pirates, I know so you can play second base. The Pirates have a couple of pitchers and they have no offense, so they're not winning the division. The Brewers have some young talent. They lost their closer. They're done. They're not winning the division. So that leaves the Cubs by default. I'm not saying the Cubs are great, but they're going to win the division because everybody else sucks.
I got a question. So my first bold prediction is that the Brewers don't make the playoffs, but they did add Jose Quintana. I'm just putting out there. Will they finish in second place?
No, they have Jackson Churio, who's great, but other than that, they don't rebound from the Mets. What the Mets did to them in the playoffs.
Sorry,
No.
Quintana. I tried to put you over. I'm
We
sorry.
tried, but so it looks like it's going
Boy!
to be plenty of
We'll call it
cans
old
of
style.
old style being sold outside of the friendly confines.
And Saul will be eating a deep dish of regret.
All right, here's the thing. Cubs finish last. You buy me deep dish. Cubs don't finish last. Deep dish for all of you.
all
Wait a
right.
minute.
Clip that.
Cubs can finish
heard it.
1 through 4, and I get Giordano's shipped to me through Goldbelly. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. You got it.
Wow.
Oh.
No one can afford Goldbelly. Are you kidding me?
That's a bet.
I know.
I can't. I know I can't. That's why I said it.
I thought that this was Brody was going to have to fly himself to the Pizzeria Uno in Van Nuys if he wanted to collect. So
Oh no, I can go to Emmett's in New York or Uno's here, but if I'm getting Chicago, send a Giordano's with sausage now.
By the way,
Okay.
there is a Lumonati's in Scottsdale. I was pleasantly surprised to see. It's
that's cool.
amazing. It's delicious. It's just not pizza. Yeah, I said it.
No, it's
That's right.
lasagna.
Yeah,
It's casserole, pizza
Yeah,
casserole.
It is a
it's
casserole.
tomato
Wait,
casserole.
So,
Yeah.
Weiss, who do you have winning the Central again? I forgot. The Reds?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then look, he puts he says always bet on Tito is what he
That
said.
is not.
You know what else is red?
Pirate-
That deep
Pirate
dish pizza
finished
that's
second.
coming our way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, somebody remember that's at the 50-minute mark so that I can.
We're all getting
find
pizza.
that. Yeah, we'll all get that. All right, so we're having some fun. We're talking a little National League ball. Let's have the slog that is the American League, and it is tough to think
It is
about
dark over there.
which
man.
division I less want to talk about. So let's start with one of the. What do you guys think? Who's worse, the AL Central or the AL West? Because I'm looking, and usually you can,
Central.
so the Central has the Tigers and the Guardians, who were both good last year. The Royals were good last year. The Twins were decent last year, but the AL West has the Sacramento Athletics, and of course the Astros, the Los Angeles Angels of Fullerton / Anaheim.
You mean the Angels?
The
Yeah,
Angels.
and the Mariners have taken so many steps back, and the Rangers are a crapshoot. I see 3 teams making the playoffs from the AL East: the Orioles, the Red Sox, and the Yankees in some order. I usually try to be a Blue Jay homer. Shout out to our Canadian neighbors to the Great White North, Bob and Doug McKenzie. But thank you. I'm glad somebody did that. But it's one of those. It could be one of those years, like the year that the Mets tragically lost to the Cardinals in the NLCS, the Cardinal team that finished 82-80. Somebody is going to make the playoffs from those 2 teams, but I could see a sub 500 division winner in at least one of them. I mean, the White Sox were just shockingly bad last year, and we all knew they were going to be bad, and we all knew that they were going to be one of the worst teams ever. And they were still worse than we thought they were going to be. I see the Guardians. I think that Detroit was a really good story last year. I think actually were a little bit ahead of schedule last year, and I think there's a little bit of a regression. And I do think that the Guardians are built for the regular season, like a lot of these mid-market teams are. But what do you think, Brody? We're specifically talking about the AL Central at the moment.
I'm going with the Tigers. I liked what I saw last year. I picked them last year to win the division. I think Skubal is ridiculously good.
Agreed.
I think they have a lot of young talent, and I think the Guardians lost a couple of key players this year, and I think they're a solid second place. And I'm going with the Royals third. After that, I mean, the Twins. I mean, they can't unless I get deep dish pizza if the White Sox finish fourth. I'm going with
Two pizzas.
I'm going with the Twins finishing fourth, but I'm going with the Tigers. I think they're young and exciting. I like what they did last year, and I think that the Guardians take a step back. So otherwise, I would pick Cleveland, but yeah, Detroit's my pick this year.
What do you think, DJ Flobito?
This was kind of the hardest one because the Sox were so bad last season. Like
So
the other
bad.
4 teams were kind of in contention just because by default. But that Minnesota Twins collapse, and every team does it once a year, but the collapse the Twins had, you don't recover from that quite like that. So I have Kansas City leading the division here, but I don't think it's as strong as it was last season, and really could go either way between them and the Tigers. I will say the Tigers will have a better run in the playoffs this season, but I really am rooting for Jonathan India and that redemption tour. Now he's over there in Kansas City.
Right, and you always have a soft spot for the Royals, except hopefully in 2015 when they won the World Series. But
I don't count that.
We don't. That didn't diminish your feelings for the Royals mascot Slugger. That's his name. What do you think, Mr. Weiss, as you look at the AL Central?
Slugger. I like Detroit. They might, but I like them 5-10 games over 500 to make the playoffs and get out in the first round. I mean, no one from that division excites me at all. There are some players that are great. There's Tiger.
Slugger.
But, Bobby Wood Jr. is a fantastic young player, but he can't pitch and he can't do everything. So,
is that a crown or is that his head? I don't
It's a
understand.
crown, but by the way, it's only in this moment that I realize that so the mascot for the Royals is a lion, and yes, I know their baseball team is, of course, the Tigers in Detroit. But so their mascot is the football team from another team in the division.
Yeah, I guess he's the king of the jungle. Maybe
That's what they're saying. He's Slugger because he somewhere I do have a photo.
I hate his chin strap. I hate it.
I have a photo with him from like 2002, so I'll always be a fan. Him and Yuppie up in Montreal.
I'm sorry.
Best.
The Burger King would be a better mascot for them.
That is a Missouri beard right there.
I mean, I do love the Burger King, so you're not going to hear any complaints from me.
Yeah,
when it comes to that. But so I think that it's definitely slim pickings out there in the AL Central. The AL West, I mean, it really, again, seems like Houston can take many steps back from last year when they were shocked by losing in the first round to the Tigers and still win that division. They could lose 10 more games than they did last year and probably still end up winning that division. I mean, the Sacramento Athletics of Fremont, or whatever the full name of that team is going to be, the Las Vegas Athletics one day. And
Vegas A's.
I get the opportunity to go to a decent number of Angels games, and I have not seen that team get any better. And it's just they have this albatross around them, which is Mike Trout, and he's a great player when he's healthy. But you tell me the last time he was healthy. I don't know when it was. So I would say it's Houston in like a cakewalk. They could even gift 10 wins to everybody else in their division, so that already takes 40 off the table. And I still feel like the Astros would win. But what do you think, Weiss?
I actually like the Rangers again.
Okay.
I think they come back.
What?
And I think DeGrom makes a contribution. I don't know how big. Houston has lost Bregman. They got to get Altuve out of left field before it really costs them. That does not working.
That's a Todd Hundley in left field.
It's not working.
Todd Hundley, one of my favorites.
Right?
That was great. Yeah, great comparison.
37?
Kind of. Yeah.
The Astros are old.
Yeah, they can be though. You know, they could. You know, he's not the manager anymore, but they could put Dusty Baker in uniform and have him play second, and they'd still be all right. I just think that the Rangers
toothpick.
The Rangers play in basically in a strip mall in Arlington that doesn't have a roof, and they only play night games because it's 1,000 degrees there. I just think it's very inhospitable to winning those.
That's not true anymore. The new one has a roof.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
The old one didn't.
I didn't know they had a roof. Oh, you know what?
Yeah, the old one did. They went across the street.
Flobo.
Christian still thinks they're the Washington Senators, so
they look like them. I was talking to them on Signal, so obviously
all those Senators, yeah.
So Flobo, the idea that they got another new stadium is just, it's like even more like at least the Braves, you know, are a draw. And they got a stadium that they shouldn't have gotten. But I forgot that
it's across the street.
They got another new stadium. All right. Still, it's 1,000 degrees there. Nobody wants to live there. That's what I'm saying. But it is the only other team that I could see at least making a decent run. The only state you need to look at is Texas, basically, is what it comes down to in the American League West. So I'm the only one who thinks the Astros are going to win, right? You guys are all feeling Texas, or did you?
No, I got the Astros too.
Yeah.
But first things first, before you agree with me, I got the Angels making the playoffs. So
no, you don't.
I have
good night, everybody.
I have the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California in the playoffs. That is my bold prediction for the season. But I will say this: the AL West is like the biggest crapshoot, my most fun division, because you don't know what travel is going to be for Sacramento. Seattle is always half of a team. The pitching staff is amazing. Shout out to Brian Wu, but there's no one to hit. You look over at Texas, and you talk about the San Diego Padres and their financial crisis. You look at what the Texas Rangers are doing. Their acquisitions were very, very modest. Jake Burger, not a hater, but not an elite first baseman, back when everyone's picking up first basemen over the offseason. So I do think they're not as good as we think they're going to be, and so I do think they stumble at the end of it. That just leaves the Angels. The good old Trout's healthy Angels. That's going to Logan O'Hoppe, baby, is going to the playoffs. Yeah,
this is Flobo right here. He's calling for.
Let's go.
I would play one of the videos, but they always use movie clips and songs. I don't want to get flagged. So you believe in the power of the monkey? Is that what you're telling me?
I hate the rally monkey, but I think the Angels are going to the playoffs.
All right.
They got good
if
tickets.
They don't make it, I'll send back the pizza. All right,
Flobo, I feel so strongly that you're wrong. That if they do make the playoffs, I'll send you another pizza.
I'm getting 2 pizzas? Is that what it is?
If the Cubs don't finish last,
Yep.
and the Angels make the playoffs, you get 2 pizzas.
I like my own mushrooms.
Can we just go to LaRocco's in Culver? Let's just go to LaRocco's in Culver City, because and we can all just be in the same place. Sorry again, but Brody, we'll FaceTime you. It's fine. I'll bring the iPad and you can be in the corner with us.
Right. I'm sure it'll taste just as good on Facebook.
I'll give you a DiGiorno's. I'll give you a gift card for a DiGiorno's.
Brody's like, F your invitation.
Dude, I'm not from Oklahoma. I'm from New York. You can't send me crap pizza.
Come on. Yeah, that's all we want to pay for. All right, fine. Well, I'll get like Uber Eats from Benny Tadino's in Hoboken. All right, how about that? Oh wait, it's not even my bet. I don't care. Wife will figure it out. I don't care. I was trying to share a meal with you, but I'm like, wait, I'm not betting this craziness that the Cubs are going to be in last place. I don't know what's crazier, the Cubs in last place or the Angels making the playoffs.
It's close.
These are wild theories.
Right.
So we've got the AL East, and I think that the Yankees again can take a few steps back, but still win that division. There is excitement by not just people in New England. There are people that feel like the Red Sox might have enough pieces to be better. I mean, they're going to be better than the Rays and the Blue Jays. And, like I said, I usually try to shout out their home and native land, but not this year. I can only pick birds so many times. No more Orioles, no more Blue Jays for me. All right. So I'll try to keep things interesting, and I'll say, yeah, God damn it, the Boston Red Sox will win the AL East. Why not? That's not what I was going to say, but
that's the worst way. Yeah, why not?
If the Red Sox win the AL East, David gets to send me a third pizza.
I like this.
I'll take that action.
The man's giving away pizzas, y'all.
This guy's like buried in pizzas. How many pizzas do you have in your freezer that you're just giving away?
So
you get a pizza. You get a pizza. He gets a pizza. Everybody gets a pizza.
Christian, look under your seat. Look under your seat, Christian. There's a pizza.
I wish I had pizza on a plate right here.
Lou Malnati's from Gold Belly, David. You'll get 3 if all that shit happens.
With sausage, thank you.
You're welcome. Not happening, but
all right. So anyway, that I'm feeling it just because I feel it, but again, it is also anti-Yankees sentiment. That's really what it comes down to. Again, Mr. Brody, as our resident in the New York market, what do you feel about the AL East?
Going with the Red Sox based on the additions and who they had last year,
and the potential pizza.
The potential pizza.
Facts.
Number 2, I'm going with the Orioles.
Okay.
I think a healthy Gunnar Henderson in another month or so, and they start playing well. I know they lost Corbin Burns, but I still think they're a young, talented team. I think they made some adjustments with that stupid left field wall. They brought it in a little bit and lowered it. I think that's going to help because that was an embarrassment. And the Yankees are falling apart. Never mind losing Soto. Luis Hill is out for a month or 2. Stanton's out for how long? We don't even know.
Forever.
They lost Soto. You got a center fielder in left field now that can't play left field in the Martian. They talk about batting their catcher at leadoff. So it's to me, they're a train wreck. They don't have a great farm system. They have nobody coming up that they're like, oh, wait till midseason. They're going to bring up whoever. They have nobody. So I like the Devin Williams pickup, but I don't think they're going to win enough games to save enough games.
Plus, they look like goddamn hooligans with all those hippies in the outfield with their beards. So
yes.
Clearly,
no names on their jerseys. You know
my
who they
favorite
are.
Disney film, Hippies in the Outfield.
Hippies in the outfield. So what do you think, Weiss? I feel like it's a layup for you to pick the Yankees here.
Yeah, I mean, by default, I say Yankees, Orioles, maybe the Red Sox finish 500.
Okay.
You know, maybe. Red Sox Nation is out of their minds if they think they're going to the playoffs.
Well,
that's another pizza for anybody who thinks the Red Sox are going to the playoffs.
Oh, more pizza.
You realize that we don't have to give you pizzas. We're just taking pizzas.
I don't care. I'm so convinced that you're wrong. I don't care. I don't want.
I want to get a job at David's company. Whatever he's making for a living, he can throw pizzas around like this.
Weiss Industries. Yeah.
They're like $40 a pie these days. Are you sure?
Whatever. It's worth it just to know that you guys are so goddamn wrong.
It's the opposite business model of Danny Aiello and Do the Right Thing. He's just giving pizzas away to everyone.
He's using that bucket hat money. That's what he's doing.
That's right. There we go.
It'd be a different movie altogether.
So, so Flobo, you did pick the Red Sox? Or?
Ironically, I kind of agree with Weiss here. I like the Red Sox. I think they're going to be the most improved team year to year with their pickups, but I do have the Yankees winning, maybe not as strongly as it was last season. Their path to the World Series won't be as a layup into 2024, even though they still fumbled it there. But I have them on top, followed by the Orioles, then the Red Sox in third.
All right.
So you're saying that the Red Sox aren't as good as the Angels. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think the AL West does not count because it's Looney Tunes over there with the team playing in a minor league park.
I was going to say one of the teams is literally playing in a minor league park. So.
Well, the AL East, one of the teams is playing in a minor league park as well. The Rays are playing in a minor league park.
Oh, I thought you meant the Yankees in that. They're actually the Yankees are actually playing in a little league field.
They're playing in a museum.
Yeah, a mausoleum.
So, all right. So, let's each pick who we think would be the National League Championship Series matchup. So, the two best teams in the playoffs. We're going to skip the first round. Let's just get to the NLCS. We'll do the same for the the ALCS. I'll ask you first, Brody. Who do you think are playing for a trip to the World Series come mid-October?
I'm going Red Sox Orioles.
Oh no, okay. Well, let's just do the American League then.
Oh, I'm sorry, National League. National League. I'm going Mets Dodgers again.
All right. I don't know if my heart could handle that, but Weiss, what do you think?
I agree with Brody, as much as it pains me.
Flobito?
NL or AL? I'm all confused.
We're doing NL.
I got Philly and Los Angeles.
Wait, what was it?
I got Philly and Los Angeles.
I've got Philly and the Mets in the NLCS. And
wow, who knocks off the Dodgers in the divisional round?
A doctor. Dr. Kevorkian as their new team trainer.
Lightning strike.
I'm just trying to get some extra pizzas. All right. Look,
I understand that.
No, I can't. I can't imagine it's not the Dodgers, but I'm just picking something different.
Okay.
But,
all right.
So when my pal Daniel Beck watches this and he says, "I can't believe you didn't pick the Dodgers," yeah, I know. Okay, I get it, but I'll pick the Mets because the Mets are the one that I don't think are going to make it. All right.
Oh, the Mets are going 162-0.
It's really the Phillies and the Dodgers, but I want it to be the Mets. So
I wanted to,
yeah. So I'm at least picking one of the teams accurately who will be there, which is
I will not bet pizzas, but I wanted
to be. What about cheesesteaks from Philly's Best, where our buddy Frank Moran is still supposed to pick
Cheesesteaks don't travel, man.
It's in Burbank. It's right here.
They travel to me. I'm an hour and 10 minutes away from all of them.
You go down to Gino's.
Christian and I know of a place on Pico.
Yeah.
It's called the South Philly Experience.
Sure, we can go there. Yeah.
We'll go there. It's much better.
Sounds like a strip club.
Yeah, it's not that far south Philly. This is more mid Philly. So all right. So really Dodgers, Mets for everybody except me. And so then the AL, Brody, you already gave it away. You said Red Sox, Orioles, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would lean towards the Rangers if I knew DeGrom was going to be healthy the whole year.
You can never
never know that.
Yeah.
So I'm going Red Sox Orioles. And and we're not discussing who's going to win at that point, right?
No, we're just doing that. Yeah, that'll be the next.
Yep.
So Mr. Weiss, ALCS.
I'm saying Texas Orioles.
I could see it. I could definitely see it. Yeah. Flobo, who do you have playing the Royals in the championship?
Can I say DeGrom hasn't pitched a full season since 2019? Like why?
Yes, but he doesn't have to.
You're the guy who picked Trout to win.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team. He has to.
Trout
win.
is the DeGrom of outfielders.
He's on my fantasy team. I got. Don't call me out like that. Don't hold me accountable. My picks are Detroit and the Yankees. Detroit and the Yankees for the LCS.
So Detroit and the Yankees for the LCS.
I would have pizza.
I know. And by the way, I just decided to do it quick because we're talking about Mike Trout and just seeing how many games he's played in each of the last few years. I'm shocked that in 2022 he played in 119 games. That's so many more games than I thought. But 2021, 36. 2020 doesn't count. So really, it's like DeGrom, actually. Pre-pandemic, they were both still elite players. They haven't been since 2020 either.
Comeback player of the award right there.
All right. So then what is your World Series matchup? American League versus National League. We'll go in the same order, Brody.
Red Sox, Dodgers. Dodgers win.
Okay.
Red Sox in the World Series?
Yeah, because
he's trying to get a pizza.
Trying to get a pizza.
I understood my question.
I think the American League is trash, and I think the Orioles still don't have the pitching, and the Yankees can go after themselves. So I'm going with the Red Sox because the Central sucks, the West sucks. So I'm going with the Red Sox.
Out of everything you said, the Yankees can go after themselves.
Yeah, I'm with that. Yeah,
and the cavalry behind them.
And the cavalry behind.
Flobito, go ahead.
I have Philadelphia over Detroit. For this World Series.
I would enjoy watching that World Series, but I would want the Tigers to win. It would just make me feel better inside. What do you think, Mr. Weiss?
In a replay of the 1969 World Series, Mets, Orioles.
And who wins
take it?
I can only imagine what it would cost, but I would love to see one of those World Series games at Camden Yard in Baltimore between the Mets and the
Soto hitting the warehouse.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. So yeah, I've got myself in a situation where I guess that what I'm seeing is the Phillies over the did I actually pick an American League championship matchup, or did I just brush through it too fast? In any case, I got the Phillies over the Astros in a boring World Series that I won't give a shit about.
Wow.
But, yeah, that's just me. That's just what I see. I call it like I see it. I'm excited about a lot of things. So Sports Nutnik, Brody and Alex Cohen will be enjoying chocolate chip cookies in the Cohen suite this season.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, as a matter of fact, I will be.
Is that true?
I was at her suite last year, the year before, and I intend to go back this year. Yes.
Did you guys
Cool.
Did you guys see the new race that they're going to have at Citi Field this year?
Yes. Yes.
The
sounds
5 boroughs.
White.
Yeah. No. He means actual foot race of the kind.
Oh, so Indonesian, is that a? I can't.
No.
Mother of pearl. Yeah.
It's like the sausage race or the pierogi race in Pittsburgh. There's the angriest looking giraffe is the representative from the Bronx, probably because he's a Yankees fan and he's got a lot to be annoyed about. So Peter Joseph with an LFGM. Flobo, boys, how can you multitask? how are you in the chat? You're on
I'm ordering
show.
pizzas for myself. I just figured
So many pizzas. I
got mine right there already, so I'm set.
I actually lost track of the pizza count. I'm not going to lie.
I'm up to 3.
Don't worry.
The Cubs are not going to be in last place. I know that. At least I'm getting one.
I'm getting one pizza.
Yeah, I'm getting at least one pizza. Yep.
Day after the World Series, I'll be eating pizza. You mooks.
Yeah,
I'm going for the magic number when the Cubs are eliminated from last place.
All right.
That's true. Yeah, because then they can't possibly finish in last place.
Yep.
Well, this is as fun as always. Thanks again to Devin Gordon for being here for the beginning part of the show. He had to head out for volleyball for his kids, so he wasn't big timing us just because he was in the New York Times this week. He actually,
I would if I were. You know.
Yeah, no, I mean you'll big time us already because you give us new content every day. And again, Devin's book, So Many Ways to Lose, I did really enjoy it. The amazing true story of the New York Mets, the best worst team in sports. And for Mr. Brody, where can you be found?
You find me on the Brooklyn Boys podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Find me at David Brody with a Y for you non-visual listeners. On social media. Find me on the Marvel Movie Talk podcast, the Marvel Book Club podcast, right?
Geekscape Book Club, but it's going to be the same stream. The same stream on Wednesday. We're going to be talking Daredevil Born Again, the TV show, and Daredevil Born Again, the comic book series. Tune in Wednesday.
Yes, and find me on Signal with
Pete Hegseth,
Marco Rubio, and Pete Hegseth. Thank you.
Yeah. Flobo Boys, new content every day.
Yeah, well, before I get out of here, I just want to say I have the Mets winning 90 games this season. And I'm so mad at you, David Weiss, because you didn't remind me it was Hamatashin season and I missed it. Anyway. Yeah, I know, you jerk. No, I mean, anyway. You can
if the Cubs finish first, Hamatashin for everybody.
Yes! Yeah. That's why we're from Brooklyn, baby. It's a Hamatashin season. I'm afraid of Queen Esther. Anyway, justasandwich.com. I write sports, I write comedy. It's my blog. Check it out. justasandwich.com. And, of course, flopito.com, because that's the brand everyone's been calling it for years. So check it out there.
And David Weiss, apart from possibly being spotted at the craps table over there at it's not called Barbary Coast anymore. It's Wild Bill's Gambling Hall. No, I think they rebranded
Cromwell.
It's the Cromwell. They rebranded it a third time.
In Vegas, I'm in Gene.
Oh. Well,
wow.
At least you're closer to the White Castle. If you're yeah. Weiss wanted to go to Vegas, but then he just saw all the good deals in Gene. And he's like, where are the tightest slots in Nevada? I know, Gene.
You went all the way to Vegas to stop 40 miles short? Why?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Well, okay.
No, he's not really there.
He's like the Oakland A's. They're not really in Oakland anymore.
Right.
They're outside.
Right.
You can find me, should you accept the mission, at DWise Comedy on the Insta and on the Facebook, or you could just.
You're on X.
No, I'm not on X.
I tagged you today.
I'm not there, man.
Are you on Juice Guy? Because that's what I'm on that.
No,
Dave's not here,
I'm
man.
off of that.
No, man. Dave's not here.
Dave's not here, man.
He's not here, man.
So then, who's this?
What are the? Yeah, but I deleted the app.
Oh, but you're still there.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a house, but I lost the key, so I don't have a house anymore.
You don't. If
Yeah.
it's Brooklyn. If you're in Brooklyn, you don't anymore.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you what else you're not going to have. Any pizzas, because you're never going to financially recover from this. You're like
You
Tiger
won't.
King. You're going to lose your shirt in pizzas.
Pizzas, slices.
So many pizzas. Well, in any case, we appreciate everybody joining us. Huge thanks again to Devin Gordon, David Brody, David Weiss, and Flobo boys. Let's go Mets. Play ball. Very excited for the season, and can't wait to start the email thread amongst the four of us. Weiss and I will be watching Mets Astros from my living room on Thursday. Don't look for Weiss to figure out how to watch the Apple TV game on Friday night.
Hold on. I'm ordering my Cubs jersey. Hold on a second.
Wait, who are you going to get?
Just listen to Pete Crow Armstrong, obviously.
Yeah.
Weiss will listen to Howie Rose on the app. You know, it's
Yeah.
easier. It's better than watching it on Apple TV anyway.
Absolutely.
In any case, that is all the time we have for now. And we will see you next time on the Bladtcast.